So after about a semester, my boss, this Jim Fitzpatrick, who's the associate dean, and is now one of the senior VPs down there, he's still there, 44 years. He says, I need some help running the van for the pasta dinners at Prospect House. Now, Prospect House is a shelter and still in existence today. It's actually a very successful shelter where a difference is made in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's attached to a parish community down there. I'm like, well, Jim, I don't cook. Okay? Again, I commuted. I lived at home for college. I didn't cook. I don't cook. I mean, I can drive the van. Okay, just drive the van. I get down there. There's about 27, 28 people. Get all the bread, the pasta, and everything. And Jim says, okay, everyone's served. Why don't you go out and sit with the guests? I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't sign on for that. I didn't come to sit with people. I just came to drive the van. Jim, I told you I just came to drive the van. He said, no. You came to be here. I needed you to be here. God needs you to be here. Well, that freaked me out. That was really, really something to struggle with. So afterwards, I did sit with the guests, went back to my townhouse on campus, and I prayed a little bit. I was kind of finding some meaning back in prayer. And I realized that finding God in all things, well, Jim had seen something in me. And he wanted me to share that and share his love of others and his love of faith by introducing me to that service program. And I stayed with it, as I did with Mass at Fairfield. It was an amazing time because those doubts, the confidence, the uncertainty, the ambiguity, the fear was starting to dissipate a little. I'm not saying it was over and everything was great, no. But it was starting to change. I was starting to change. And then it flipped. 2 months before I was supposed to graduate, I got a call from my dad. And my dad never called me when I was away, ever. Mom's sick. You need to come home. I'm like, what do you mean she's sick? Cold? Cough? Cough due to cold? No, she's sick. So I went home, and I spent a couple days, and she was telling me that, yeah, they don't know what this is. They think the cancer might be back. But do me a favor. Take my chain. This is a blessed chain that all of our sisters and her had from the Vatican in Rome, way back from the 1970s of the Virgin Mary. She said, take it, hold on to it until I get home. Hold on to it. She didn't make it home. She died 3 days later. So amongst all of the newfound energy or joy was the devastating news that I had lost my mother. A lot of us in this room may have experienced or are experiencing some sort of grief or sickness or loss. Or what I'm telling you is, as an only child at 23, that was as hard as it got. I remember the funeral like it was yesterday, and we pulled up to our church parking lot, church that just got consolidated, meaning it's no longer a church, about 10 years ago, right off of about half hour away on Route 9. And there were 2 big coach buses, and I'm like, wow, what a time for a tour bus to come in to a church. There's 2 tour buses out there. Walk into the church, and the entire right side of the church was full with over 100 students, faculty, staff, and Jesuits from Fairfield. That, to me, was God in all things. That was God in my life, working through others. And then maybe it was time for me to start to realize even more fully and more authentically, more genuinely, that I had to start working through others to find God.